So Jon Stewart did a segment here that yet again shows he's leagues above and beyond anybody else in his space. I mean, Jon Stewart is what Bill Maher wishes he could be these days. But he talks about, so it's Pride Month, and so he does this really interesting piece on pride, namely corporate pride. We get all these virtue signaling corporations that come out of the woodworks, and they did this during Black Lives Matter, where they actually, oh yes, we're down for the cause. Let's wear a dashiki, and let's take a knee, and let's put up a fist like Malcolm X. And you see this with pride too, you know, all these commercials where they're pretending like they're all about social justice or whatever. So Jon Stewart really, really took them to task over this. And look, I think this is a good piece, particularly for liberals to pay attention to, because I do feel like liberals are susceptible to falling for these kinds of marketing campaigns and believing that, like, oh yes, it's true. This vicious corporation that commits 17 crimes before breakfast, they're actually on our side. No, they're not. All right, so anyway, here we go. Let's listen and we'll break it down as we go.
Pride Month is, of course, that time of year when corporations get together and financially exploit the decades-long struggle of gay people for acceptance and equality. Hey, remember when you were fired from that bank job after you were outed? Well, Burger King does. With a burger that has 2 bottom buns.
Oh my God, is that real? Is that real? That might be real, bro. Source, CNN. Oh my. Oh, that's the most try-hard shit I've ever seen in my life.
That's not a funny make-em-up. Scarred by conversion therapy, Skittles is releasing a colorless version of Skittles. Apparently not wanting to confuse gay people with competing rainbows.
Oh my God, only one rainbow matters during Pride. Oh.
Yeah. And then there's this ad showing a family overcoming a father's deep conservative values. And as you watch it, try and guess exactly what it is they're selling.
Mom, this is Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, Dad.
All over your face.
You're the cutest little baby.
Happy birthday.
Is that your dad?
How's he doing?
Did I do it right? I love it. You like it?
I love it.
Come on, bro. What are we doing here? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the next time you waste an enormous amount of paint to apologize to your daughter for making her and her girlfriend walk on eggshells all weekend, not even saying anything, just standing there with your little glowering beard face in the shadows, you just paint the face and give her an Oreo? And then, of course, there's Target. Pride Month means so much to them that they set up one small area in their 20,000 square feet of store to sell you a Pride t-shirt they had made in Indonesia for 29 cents landing because they believe so much in the cause.
Well, Target will be dialing back its Pride Month merchandise this June.
Huh? What? How will I learn to live, laugh, lesbian? That's right. Target is apparently less proud of Pride this year. But why?
Retail giant Target is grappling with backlash from conservatives over its most recent collection celebrating the LGBTQ community.
Do not shop at Target, or else you're gay and you're a pervert.
Even if I'm just getting paper towels? Is that? But that's the burden corporations must bear. They care almost too much about the human condition, often finding themselves in the crosshairs of ideologues and fundamentalists, but they stand by their values, sometimes for a couple of months. For instance, post-January 6th, hundreds of corporations announced the end of donations to senators or congressmen who voted to overturn the election. And that moral stand in defense of democracy itself lasted almost a month. Yeah, they ran the numbers, and apparently you can sell more cell phones in a dictatorship. But that month appears almost Gandhi-esque when compared to Bud Light, whose foray into inclusion was last April's incredibly not in the public's face small promotional social media video with a transgender influencer named Dylan Mulvaney. prompting a conservative Bud Light murder purge. Dear God, man! Those beers had families. Bud Light sales plummeted, stocks tanked, and it only took 2 weeks for Budweiser to issue an apology and run a new ad campaign designed to win back the kind of people who shoot at their products.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America.
A talking horse? You're apologizing about a transgender influencer using a talking horse? Well, tell us your story, National Velvet.
Found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
First of all, I think that horse is scared shitless. And second of all, the apology gift to the people upset about Budweiser is a Budweiser? Curious. But don't be sad, for this is only following in a long line of hollow corporate pandering meant to convince you that not only are corporations people, they're good people, decent people, who care about the systemic ills of this great nation. We saw this very clearly in the wake of George Floyd's murder. Corporations saw people's demand for a reckoning with America's racist past, and they said, sure, us too.
We're on a 400-year-long journey, and scars don't fade. But neither does hope.
And in the fight against systematic racism and inequality, Doritos is committing to amplifying black voices. General Mills
Vaseline and Doritos with like identity-based ads.
Serve the world by making food people love. And inclusion is one of our secret ingredients.
At Kraft Heinz, our purpose is to make life delicious. And we believe we can't achieve that without one essential ingredient: diversity.
Are you sure you don't mean sodium triphosphate? Meanwhile, while corporations forcefully pronounced their deeply held value of promoting diversity on network television, their commitment only lasted until the protests died down.
Time for the morning buzz. Major tech giants, including Google and Meta, quietly slashing their diversity, equity, and inclusion jobs this year and laying off workers in those departments. DEI-related job postings in 2023 declined 44%.
I guess they only needed to use much less of that ingredient than they thought they needed. Turns out the recipe Kraft wanted called for just a dash of inclusion, just a soupçon of diversity. So they're very clearly conflicted between the high moral values that they think we want and the amoral values that serve their shareholders. So if I may address corporate America quickly in this moment. Stop. We don't need any of this. We don't need to know that your products are used by only the most diverse families walking down sidewalks or camping, or diverse families doing a ride, or getting a loan, or doing laundry, or a diverse, I don't know what they are. Right? This guy doesn't think he's got a skin condition, and no way is he dating her. No way. No way. There is no way. Oh, sure, we're supposed to believe how many beautiful, multi-racial young ladies are dating eczema Opie. Oh, okay. Okay. Very believable. I apologize. I apologize sincerely to that gentleman. And by the way, for those on the right who wish corporations would just ditch the woke performances and go back to good old-fashioned patriotic values, that's all bullshit, too. For God's sakes, SpaghettiOs told us not to forget Pearl Harbor. By the way, why is the SpaghettiO so happy about Pearl Harbor? Is he remembering it or celebrating it? I wouldn't be surprised if SpaghettiOs supported Pearl Harbor attack. Technically, a can of SpaghettiOs is a sneak attack on your digestive system. SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs. The Arby's of pasta. Why are we allowing ourselves to get worked up over whether giant multinational corporations are pro-gay or have traditional American values, because corporations have but one value: shareholder value. That's all they have. That Budweiser horse that wants to restore our American spirit is actually owned by a Belgian-Brazilian beverage conglomerate. That all-American Clydesdale's name is probably Jean-Luc Bolsonaro. Even the corporations you think are sincere, like Dove, and their multi-year commitment to body positivity are owned by Unilever, also the owner of Axe body spray, and their decades-long commitment to anything that moves. There is nothing corporations do that is not in service of their bottom line. Even when you go to the checkout at the grocery store and the little card reader thing says, "Do you want to round up to help feed some children?" Well, the first thing I think is, you're the one with all the food. Why don't you round some of that up? And then they got the balls to put out a press release talking about how much money they donated to stop world hunger. That's my money. You tell those kids that's my money. Let's stop pretending that a corporation can even be woke or unwoke or patriotic or unpatriotic. Let's just let corporations live their truth as the profit-seeking Patrick Bateman psychopaths they are.
Oh, this is spot on. Look, what people need to understand is there's a difference, right? What he's making is a fundamentally left-wing critique of hollow corporate identity politics. This is a fundamental left-wing critique of it. Do not get it twisted. Do not get it confused with the right-wingers who pretend like they're making this same Jon Stewart critique, but in reality, they're just attacking LGBTQ stuff and anti-racism stuff because they actually disagree on the substance of those things, right? And we're going to get to a story in a second, too, of like Republican commentators now resurrecting 1700-style bigotry. Not kidding about that. Wait, you'll see it. You'll see it. Just watch the next video when it drops, right? Okay? There's a difference there. And I've seen this a lot. Oftentimes, conservatives will pretend like they're making this criticism that Jon Stewart is making, but really they just disagree with gay rights as such. They just disagree with equality as such. And that's a very different criticism. So his point is, look, this is all hollow pandering. That's all this is. You don't mean any of it. You don't believe any of it. And the second there's a backlash, or the second the tides turn, you're going to go right along with the tides. Because again, the ultimate bottom line is to increase your bottom line. It's the profit motive. So this isn't, they pretend like it's a principled stand. It is no such thing. They are unfamiliar with any and all principles except one, which is profit maximization. So the other thing is the like brazen social issues and cultural issues pandering, whether they're doing it in a left-wing direction or a right-wing direction. The whole point is so that you overlook their economic and environmental crimes. Oftentimes they'll virtue signal like they love gay people or they love minority communities, while at the same time paying gay people and minority people who work for them minimum wage, or if they could get away with even less than that, then less than that, right? Not nearly enough money to survive on. Don't take your eye off the ball. Don't take your eye off the reality that the material conditions that they're fostering are horrific and indefensible, that they're part of a corrupt, rotten capitalist system. Don't take your eye off the ball. And then look, the final point, and this is probably my most controversial point, but like, nobody should be under any illusions. And Jon Stewart is making this argument. Don't be under any illusions. If they're trying to pretend like we're really patriotic and traditional and really conservative, that corporation is not actually that. Again, it's just about the bottom line, and they found a niche where they feel like we can use this to then make money, right? Don't believe it in a right-wing direction. Don't believe it in a left-wing direction. Because in both instances, it's not real. It's not real. Now, having said that, what would the actual most honest thing be in the context of this decrepit, rotten, collapsing capitalist hellscape? The most honest thing would be just don't say shit about anything when it comes to any kind of social or cultural issues, right? If you're going to sell fucking toilet paper, be like, all right, dog, we got this off this toilet paper. You fucking want it or not? I remember when I used to be a car salesman, and I was the worst salesman, but it's weird because in some ways, it's like I had a certain kind of person would actually prefer me as their salesman, because I wouldn't do bullshit at all. I'd be like, what do you want to know about this car? And then tell them the facts of the car and be like, there you go. What do you think? Very, like, to the point. No beating around the bush. No bullshitting. No, I'm going to use a hard sell tactic on you. They had all these goofy training manuals of, like, the most manipulative ways to try to force people into buying a car, and I always found that fucking gross. Do they want it or do they not want it? You want to know the facts on it? Here are the facts on it. You let me know, dog. What do you want to do? And there's something about, if we're going to live in this capitalist hellscape, at least just give me the bare minimum respect of not pretending to be left-wing, not pretending to be right-wing. Just be like, yes, we are vicious, rapacious corporations, and we need the government to check us because we're criminal, we're amoral, we'll bring about environmental destruction and low wages and all that stuff, but just be neutral on the cultural shit. Don't say anything in any which direction. If you're selling toilet paper, fucking sell toilet paper. Say it's the softest shit. If you're selling a burger, say, we got the most delicious fucking burger. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Come eat this shit. Right? And I feel like, I don't know, maybe I could actually foresee the evolution of ad stuff to get to that point again, right? I think it used to be back in the day, they kind of did it like that. Then corporations pretended to be your friends. Then they wanted to pretend to be like, have like an ironic, sarcastic disposition because they thought that would sell more, be like funny. Now it's like the virtue signal era where they want to virtue signal these beliefs that they don't have or don't give a fuck about. Let's just get back to, if you're going to do an ad, make that bitch 12 seconds and make it, bro, we're selling a bed. The shit is comfortable. You want it? Right? That's it. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so brilliant here from Jon Stewart. Nobody else in cable news can do it like him. It's just that simple. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.